Hello, I'm Aaron Park, and this is 7th grade, lesson 18. So, number 1, for his project, Samuel bought 6 equal pieces of wood with a total length of 5.1 meters. What is the length of each piece of wood in meters? So, 6 pieces of wood, the total length is 5.1, which means we can do simple division to find the answer. We set up a proportion. We know that 5.1 meters is 6 pieces of wood, and we want to know how many meters is 1 piece of wood. As you can see, like I said before, this one at the bottom doesn't mean anything, so all we need to do is divide. On the right side, I worked out the long division, which is a simple process. If you're not familiar with it, I suggest you switch it up or ask somebody. And you can see that each piece of wood is this number right here, 0.85 meters, which corresponds to answer choice D. Number 2 is even more simple. It's not a word problem. All we need to do is perform this division. So if you write it out, you're dividing the number negative 11.06 by 7. This time I'll work it out with you guys. So 7 goes into 11 one time. Then we do subtraction. 11 minus 7 is 4. We carry down this 0, 40. How many times does 7 go into 40? And the answer is, of course, 5 times. 35. We subtract again, and we carry down this 6. How many times does 7 go into 56? And the answer is 8 times. Now, remember, the initial number was negative, so this will be negative 1.58, which means the correct answer is B. Moving on to number 3, 8 equal packs of ice cream weigh 6 kilograms. How much does one pack weigh in kilograms? So once again, this is just division. We need to divide 6 kilograms by 8 packs to find the weight of one pack, and here we can see that 8 goes into 7, or 8 goes into 6.07 times, giving us 56. If you subtract, you get 4, carry down a 0, 5, and a decimal point. So 6 divided by 8 is 0.75, which is our answer. If we scroll down, there are a bunch of similar problems. So let's try this second section, solving for x. For number 1, first we need to subtract 3x from both sides, which gives us 5x is equal to negative 10. Then we isolate x by dividing by the coefficient 5, and we get x equals negative 2. Now, number 2, we can see that we have a x in the parentheses. So first, we can divide out that 2, which will give us x plus 1 is equal to 9 over 2. Then we simply subtract 1 from both sides, and remember, 1 can be written as a variety of different fractions as long as it's the same number in the numerator and denominator. So we can see that x is equal to 7 over 2. An alternative way to solve this is to distribute the 2 by multiplying it out. Then you would get 2x plus 2 is equal to 9. Then, just like problem 1, you can subtract the constant from both sides. 2x equals 7. Simply divide, and you'll see that we end up with the same answer. X equals 7 over 2. So 2 ways to get to the same answer, whichever works for you. Now, for problem 3, x is the numerator of a fraction, so we multiply both sides by 7. We get 14 equals x plus 5, and then we simply subtract 5 from both sides to get x equals 9. Now, let's scroll down and do the last one, which is presumably the hardest. We subtract 5x from both sides. Forgive the handwriting, but I'm sure you can follow that it's 9 equals 3x, and from here it is simple division to get x equals 3. Let's try another one, because that was pretty simple. How about number 5? The first thing we have to do is subtract the constant so that we can isolate the x term. This basically just means we get rid of this 6, it cancels out, and then 13 minus 6 is 7. Now x is on the top, so we want to multiply to get rid of it. So these cancel out, and then x is equal to 7 times 4, which is of course 28. And our final answer would be 28. Now, on the final page, we have 2 word problems. The first one says the penny size d of a nail is given by d equals 4n minus 2, where n is the length in inches of the nail. Solve the formula for n. Now, we have this equation, and what we want to do is isolate n. That's what it's saying when it says solve the formula for n. So, what do we need to do? Well, first there's a constant we want to move to the other side, so we add 2 to both sides. This gives us d plus 2 is equal to 4n, and now we simply isolate n by dividing. We can leave the left side as d plus 2 over 4, or you can write it as d over 4 plus 1/2. Either way works. They are the exact same. This and this, exact same. Now, use the new formula to find the lengths of the nails with the following penny sizes, 5 and 20. I'm going to use this one right here because I find it easier. So, n is equal to, first we'll do 5. 5 plus 2 over 4. 5 plus 2 is 7, so this is 7 over 4 in inches. 7 over 4 inches is the length of the nail. Now if we plug in 20 for d, 20 plus 2 over 4 is 22 over 4, and this does simplify to 11 over 2 inches. N equals. So these are our 2 answers. And the last problem, to participate in a bowling league, you pay a $25 sign-up fee and a $12 for each league night that you bowl. So the total cost C in dollars is given by the equation C equals 12x plus 25, where x is the number of league nights you bowled. Solve the equation for x. So just like before, we first move the constant over, this time by subtracting 25 from both sides. Then we divide by the coefficient to isolate x, and here it doesn't really simplify neatly, so I think it is best to just leave it in this form as a fraction. How many league nights have you bowled if you spend a total of $145? Now, this is going into x. Pardon me, it's going into C, because C is the total cost in dollars. So, just like before, we would plug in the number and solve for x. So, 145 minus 25 is 120, and obviously 120 divided by 12 is just 10. So how many league nights did you bowl? You bowled 10 nights. Thank you, that's all for today.